Right. Wow, Moshe, thank you for having me.
No, not yet.
It's so good to see you.
No.
Oh, sweetie, my time's up.
Yeah.
My time is up again. So I thought it was good to talk about how things have been in Israel and it's been so good to meet you. So what would you like to know that you don't know about me?
A little bit.
Like how I got here. About 28 years ago, I landed in Israel for a holiday. First Intifada was on. Didn't know anything. It was the cheapest holiday in the travel agent because there was an Intifada.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know about it. I fell in love with the land and the country, and someone fell in love with me, and I married him a year later. 10 years of being married to him, 2 children, and like many people outside, I came, visited, stayed a month, left, came, visited. You told me you had family that do that.
Yes, we have family in the United States and they come.
And
They spend 1 week, 2, 3, 1 month.
Something like that, yeah.
They don't know much about Israel. Of course, they don't know much about Israeli problems. Because, all their interest now about the family,
Yeah.
how feel this person, how...
That's kind of how it was for me.
This kid and
Yeah.
a little bit sea, a little bit nature.
That's how it was for me with the kids. I brought the kids and I was in Naria, and that's how it was. I got divorced from that husband, and unlike what a lot of people might think, I actually put 0 mezzanotes on my divorce papers. 0 mezzanote, 0 child support. I asked for nothing. I did the divorce in a religious court in England and said if he wanted to pay, he should pay from here and not from a judge. And we amicably decided that we would raise our children with no controls from any judge or any court anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So he could see them when he wanted, and we raised them as a united couple, even though he had someone and I had someone or whatever. Very civilised, actually. So civilised that I
So you enjoyed it very much.
Divorce lasts longer than marriage. Yeah, sometimes it lasts
No,
longer.
I speak about the treatment of the state.
I didn't have any problem because everything was done in the UK.
No, child support and so on.
I didn't ask for any. The judge and the lawyer was saying, "Was 0? You're going to put 0?" I said, "No, I earn more than him. He doesn't earn enough. He can just buy things as and when, but I can pay for the children."
For the presents.
Yeah, so there was no deadbeat loser, none of this stuff. The divorce was so amicable that we actually came together a few times to Israel after the divorce for family weddings and things like that. And we came here for...
So still friends.
We still are. He's the father of my children.
Yeah.
No, I don't have a habit of picking Israelis to marry. I mean, 2 in 28 years is not really a big thing, is it? But my actual first husband encouraged my second husband to date me. It was he that said to...
So he initiated the second marriage?
He did.
Okay.
He said, "Look, you're on your own, you've been divorced for years." And Elan was separated from his wife because she testified that she'd separated from him a year before I arrived. It's in her court papers, so it has to be true, doesn't it? He told me they were. The judge's papers said that they were. And Roger said, "Why don't you 2 get together?" So it was a blessing and an introduction from...
Absolutely reasonable. It
First
sounds
to second.
like that.
So that's how it happened, and we just were friends for donkey's years, and then we just started a conversation. There was nothing else, and a few months later he came to England, and we began our life in the UK. He didn't like Israel very much. He'd never felt comfortable here. It wasn't his country. He'd never enjoyed it.
Born here?
He was born here, but he didn't feel... he just felt he didn't belong.
He didn't feel himself in the right place.
He didn't. He felt like he said he was a polar bear in the desert. He didn't feel a polar bear in the desert. So we started and settled our life in the UK. Now, despite the fact we had evidence, photography, videos and paperwork, his then wife wouldn't give him the gates. Even though she had someone else and everything was going on, she refused.
This is actually a religious practice in Israel. But it really depends, they get the car to the Hebrew language, or she make her free, or he makes her free.
She wouldn't let him go.
And in the moment that the son of the party does not agree to get free to another one, you have a problem.
She refused. And she refused, and she refused. And, she was told to go and pay money every month, and the last time she was shackled. And it was a 4-year battle not to give him the get.
Sure.
You wouldn't believe it. He had someone, she had someone, why not? But
this is actually the practice in Israel.
Wow, honestly, Moshe, this was my first entry into difficult divorce, Now, I wrote a book about it, and everything in the book is verifiable, and everything you can get from the courts, and signed to agree that anyone can access me or a lawyer to all the papers. And I kept a log in a diary. I went into hell here. I didn't know that the woman could just say what she wanted. I had no idea. And she was saying I tried to kill her, he tried to rape her. She arranged for his family to have all their goods removed by the bailiff just because the Axalapol she could. It was a tyrannical time, and I had no idea. I thought it was just one woman. So we offered money coming out of our ears, we paid ahead. Now, somebody said to me the other day about deadbeat dads
Just
not
to get him
paying.
free.
He was free at the time. No, he was free. She tried a couple of times to put Yukovitia, no exit. The first time, this is the interesting one, we paid 70,000 shekels for him to be released from the country for 1 year. It was 1 year's money, okay? We've been paying, nearly £1,000 a month for the kids, which I think is pretty good for 2 or 3 children. Yeah, 3, not 2 or 3, she had 3. One was 15, so you drop a third. I learned so many things. Now listen to this. She refused the money, she refused to give bank details, and she refused to accept the judgment. So we had to get the lawyer from Tel Aviv to go to the court, to the judge, and put the money in so that he could order her to receive this money. Now, when you talk about deadbeat dads,
how can you order to receive money?
She wouldn't take it.
Her own deal.
No, because the lifting of the no exit was
actually, she has a responsibility for the kids.
So
right.
She wouldn't take it. Now, if you're telling me somebody needs mezonot and they need child support and they're hungry and starving,
child support,
right? Then child support. Why did she not give her a bank account? Why did she refuse the judge's order? And why would she not receive the money? We had to go a week later and put the money into not the Atsalapol but the court, and the court sent her the money every month because they had to, because she refused the money. It's not about money. This was not about money.
Very interesting situation. It's not about money, it's about ego or something.
It was about control, it was about
ego or something.
Now, we're still not married. She's still married to him, and she's demanding more and more, and he offered the business. No, I don't want that. You can have my pension. She took that. I want the whole house. I want this. I want 10,000. I want 20. I want it. Didn't matter. It was just pouring and pouring out. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was just one person. So in 2006, we came back to finish the story once and for all. She'd asked for 10,000 a month for herself, 8,000 for the children, 18,000 retrospective. For years on end. He's never paid. Blah blah. Clearly, we had, because we were depositing all this money in court. You would think the proof was there. When we showed up for a week, he won the cases, everything was fine. The judge said, you don't belong in Israel, you can leave, sort yourselves out. She got promoted, bye-bye judge, no new one. And then it began. The ex put a no exit order again, because the year was up, and he's still here to this day. 9 years, you won't believe. During that time, I sank everything I had into bringing him home. I wanted him back. I wanted my husband. I wanted my You know, the kids hadn't been with him for years. I wanted my home, I wanted the business, I wanted my life back. He didn't want me to be here.
Family, everything.
Yeah, he didn't live here. He didn't live here. He didn't want me here. Our life was there. We had everything there. Why should I just drop it and move here? We thought it would be over in a week. In Israel, there's no such thing as a week, is there? You know, when they tell you the decision's next week.
It's not exactly. It's not
Exactly.
exactly next week, and probably not exactly the next month
Or the next year. Or the next
Also,
whatever. So case after case after case after case. We're waiting, we're hoping.
It's like a rubber string.
Horrible.
It starts short,
It's horrible.
but you never know how long it can be.
And before you know where you are, a year's gone past. And then he doesn't know where he lives anymore. And he was living on sofas and he was fighting. He tried everything. And in this time, there's no Facebook, there's no groups, there's nothing. So
and you can communicate with a community, but
nothing.
nobody knows about you.
And I didn't speak Hebrew. And it was me and him against the world. And he's here and I'm there in the fresh air and the freedom. And he's starting to slide down, which is what I wrote. It was horrible. It's like watching someone die. It's like watching someone die without dying. It was still hard to think about it now, even though so much has gone on since then. When we got married, we married there. We married here rather, because he couldn't leave. And then I started to research, and I found a few men here, there, this, that. Google Translate. Oh God, Moshe, you have no idea. Elon's sort of just lost here, doesn't know what to do. He's found out that thousands of people are trapped, so he gave up. I found out thousands of people are trapped. I've got to find them all. I've got to go and find them. We're all going to get together and we're going to change it. The difference. My marriage didn't work out. How can it? It couldn't work out. He just disintegrated and became just as bad as everyone who was bad here. And he ended up taking all my money as well. So he stole the last dregs of my money after his entourage had stole the first lot of the money. So I was double whammied me. Dealt with an ex-wife who uses the system to hurt you, watched a man disintegrate, and then that man destroys me. Okay, I've been there, I know what it feels like. So why did I come back all the time? When I wrote the book, I thought I'm done with it now. Good therapy, written the book, go and sell ice cream in Greece, yeah?
Okay.
Did the website because that's what I was told, get a website up. And then suddenly, I'm being contacted. I'm trapped in Israel. I was trapped in Israel. I escaped Israel. Help me. From men and women from everywhere. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. So I start to respond to them and I start to write about them. And then more. And I'm getting letters every week and emails every week from really good people. Let's be clear. No deadbeat dads, no drug addicts, no losers, no psychiatric cases. Really ordinary, normal people. Trapped, screwed over, broken and traumatized.
But still, the situation is absolutely abnormal.
I couldn't believe it. I thought this got...
The people are normal, but
People
something
were normal.
very wrong with the...
Too much happening.
Yeah.
You know, I thought, well, okay, there's
So
me.
why the situation was so wrong? The people were all right, you say. People were normal, not criminal, not drug addicted, not nothing. Actually, nothing unusual.
Nothing?
Yeah, just layman.
Okay, listen.
As many of us.
Let's start with the child support issue. Paying child support, okay, I agree. Got to pay it. I was lucky. I didn't ask for it. When you have children and the Salapol, the bailiff, came with a judgment, 600,000 shekel, which is £100,000, $150,000, something like that, cash down, 3 guarantors, which means they can't leave while you're out, plus the monthly child support when you leave, was the condition of exit. Now, we worked out that that would take his youngest child up to the age of 44. He was 43. Why would he have to pay cash down to take a child to the age of 44? I asked his own parents, are you paying child support for him? He's 43. Are you, by law, paying for your 44-year-old?
Yeah.
Why should a man pay 36 years child support ahead? And anyone who tells me deadbeat dad, gotta pay your dues, I defy anyone to pay 20 years to 30 years ahead. I think that's despicable, made me angry. My life too, by the way. So, coincidentally asked to go to the UN, and I did. I went to the UN, and I asked for his freedom. I begged for his freedom. I begged for the men, I begged for the children, I begged about everything. And 6 weeks later he tried to take his life. And he might as well have died, because at that point he was never the same. Sad, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. People think I'm political, I want to hate Israel. I hate Israel. I hated Israel, you have no idea. For about 3 or 4 years. Hate wasn't the word. I despised this place, what it's done to him, to me, to my kids, to my life, what it's stolen from me.
What exactly what did you don't like? Did you discuss this state, or people, or the country, or the landscape, everything?
If I heard the word Israel, it made my stomach turn.
It was harmed by Israel, by the way.
Wow. Do you know?
So we can understand it, because the harm was
hated it.
very
I couldn't hear it. If I saw it on the news, my children couldn't hear the word. I couldn't. It was like an allergy. I'm not kidding.
Your children actually
born in England.
Born in England, but raised in Israel.
No, they were raised in England, but they saw the years of battle and how we lost our home, we lost our lifestyle, we lost our holidays. They suffered. So people think I hate this.
Just in front of their eyes,
they
saw how it happens slowly and unreversible.
Yeah, traumatic.
Very traumatic.
I hated Israel. I'm not joking. I couldn't see anything but hate. I just hated it. I was angry.
The state, the people, everything.
It was just one big I hate Israel. Yeah. I couldn't even break it down. I just hated Israel. And I was overwhelmed with it. I can't begin to tell you the hatred. I've heard Israelis here who have problems who actually get blind like that too. And I was angry, and I couldn't see the difference between anything. I really just had hate.
I understand. The hatred was for everything that Israel will symbolize, unite people, landscape, everything.
They wouldn't let the people go.
That's one thing.
It was like a big prison. I was a businesswoman. I thought I could win, you know.
Yeah.
I thought I'd get justice by telling the truth. He did. We thought if we just went and told the truth, this was a democratic country, and that he could come home. He wasn't a criminal, he wasn't a bad person, he wasn't a terrorist, he was just my guy. Can he come home and do his job? Look at the proof of income, look at the hundreds of thousands that he's earning here. Look at the jobs that will be lost when he doesn't come back. Evidence in the Rabbinut, evidence in the civil, evidence in the Atzalapol. It's like confetti. What, you mean he's a millionaire over there? In other words, they said what made me hate them. And this was said by the head of the Atzalapol, Sharona something, let's not find her. He will never breathe the air of any other country whilst he is a father of an Israeli child, unless he pays the millions and millions that will secure that child's life till they die. He can die on the street as a pauper, and we don't care, we'll pay for that child. But if he has a chance to live and breathe and go outside, it's not happening. Now, we were told on 3 occasions, 2 judges and 1 administrative head, dream on if you think you can leave this country.
It's a very hard thing, to hear.
I couldn't stand it.
Nobody.
I couldn't hear
Actually, you finish your life. If you will believe that is exactly what happened with you, you just finished your life.
He
You're
was
still
dead.
just alive, but you're already dead.
He told me he was half a man, that he felt dead. I saw his letters go down, I saw it in his eyes. He died. He was a zombie, and I've met people like that here.
He's a zombie even today.
Yeah, well, they can't kill that kind of freedom and expect you to get over it, can they? Your whole dreams.
No, they didn't kill him physically, but they killed his personality.
They killed his spirit.
The spirit.
And
I
he
don't
became
know what
a criminal.
What it was.
He became a criminal.
And became a criminal.
Against me, and the police.
No, against you.
Well, the police are looking into it, and I'm not the only person that have.
But you say that he's zombie, so not exactly. He doesn't know exactly what that's to do, and his spirit is killed.
Yeah, I've met loads, Moshe.
Actually, he's walking dead.
Yeah, I've met more people than that are walking dead.
Ah, it's very hard.
So my whole speciality, or my speciality mastermind subject, lucky me, was no exit orders and freedom. Now I searched the world, and I have searched the world. Do people get held in any other country of the world for the future? No. No, they don't. They don't. We've done it to death, we can't find one. I can't find a country in a democratic first world that holds someone on future guarantees. There isn't one. Okay, a bit of debt, you could argue, yeah. But if you're getting a little bit of debt here, then they demand the future just in case as well. So you might as well not bother. Horrible. Horrible. There's 3.5 million cases in the Oxford right now. Did you know that? 3.5 million files. There's only 6 now.
Hard to believe for so small country.
Yeah. And
our country is very small. We have 7 million people population.
Right, and 40% of those reputedly have a no exit order on them. Wow. Wow. That's 1.2 million.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Now these debts are child support. It could be $50, it could be I say you owe me money, or the business I've had 6 months I can't pay.
Can you compare it with other countries in the world?
No, I can't find one. We've researched
something you know close to that?
Maybe America's got some systems, I don't know, but people are being held here $50, $100. How can you have a no exit order on you for $100? What are you supposed to do? You see, once you've got the no exit, then the business starts, you know that. Guarantors, extra dosh, put the money down, blah, blah, blah.
First of all,
if
we want to compare it with the other countries, you say, even in a remote vicinity, you have nothing like that.
First world developed, remember Israel?
I speak about democratic Western countries,
OECD.
not about...
we won't go to Korea and Pakistan and India and Iran and where all the ones that
we
are
will
bottom
not call the countries by the name, but
third world.
different regimes, different... yeah.
The word regime, you've got it in one.
So, in the democratic world, democratic country,
like
you
this.
have no something to compare with.
Nothing like this. Sticking to the family laws, I never realised that that women were exempt from any financial responsibility when they get divorced. They're ring-fenced. They can earn $20,000 a month and have 3 kids, and a man can earn 4, and he's got to pay 100%.
I believe that you asked a question how it can happen, and probably you received some answers to the question. So, what did you hear?
Jewish law here says that the woman is not financially responsible. The man is 100% responsible.
Women must be paid.
The woman is not responsible for the financial upbringing of her children in divorce.
And actually, the man must support them.
Completely.
And it doesn't matter about the level of the income of the man or the woman.
Yeah.
The man doesn't matter how much is his income. Will have to pay.
$600 to $700 is the minimum requirement per child. Okay, work it out.
So sometimes it's no money in the pocket, but you still have to pay.
And if you don't?
And if you don't?
Where do you go?
I think that I know the right answer.
You've been.
This right answer that I've been to this place, this is a jail, right?
It's the jail.
Okay.
Okay. So how does the man then remarry and have another child?
So if the man will be sit in jail, it will improve his paying balance.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And the interest
He will
of
pay
the-
more to the ex. No.
Exactly. So,
For his inability to pay this child support or probably
100%.
ex-wife support, 100, sometimes I heard more
can be up to
more
200.
than 100% support of his salary.
Yeah.
If he cannot do it, he will go to the jail and he will be expected to improve his paying balance.
Yeah, because he's
Yeah.
not to go and get 2 jobs.
Do I understand what
You've got it right.
Correct.
So what does he do? What does he do? How does he see his children if he's paying 100 to 200% of
I
the
will be
salary?
separated.
Where's the ice cream?
Also,
Where's
he
the
will,
house?
he will have an image in the eyes of his child as
Being a loser.
not only a loser, but a criminal. Because he sits in the jail, and it's very hard to explain to somebody if you sit in the jail that
He's a
you're not
deadbeat
criminal.
dad, remember, of course, because he's just gone out and he's lying about his income.
Oh.
Of course he is, because all the Israelis
There's
are burying
money
millions of shekels under the sofa.
under the floor.
Yeah, because all the claims that are made, and of
Under
course,
kosher,
yeah. And you know that under 2.5 that women can make a false claim, and there's no punishment or consequence for that.
Please explain me about 2.5. What do you mean?
2.5.
It's kind of regulation.
Yeah, that if a woman makes a false complaint,
Because probably nobody knows about it. I think it will sound very strange.
so Moshe, I'm going to make a complaint about you. He's violent, he's violent, he's violent. He's been beating me,
Please
he's
don't
been
do that.
hurting me.
Because if you do it, I finish.
Yeah, the
Within
police.
half an hour,
Yeah,
I will be in police station. now.
You're a criminal already.
Yeah, I will
So the
be
police
criminal.
come to take you away, and I've now
I'm a criminal.
made a false claim. Okay, now the law says if I retract that, there'll be no punishment on me. That's what the basic regulation is. However, we know that what the law says and what the law is practiced is 2 different things. So it's now just become, well, I don't need to retract it, I've said it.
Right.
So the practice is I can just say it. And I don't pay any consequences for being wrong, unless you work very hard to sue me.
Also because women always say the truth and never lie.
All the time.
So if they will complain that somebody did some wrong act or rape her, or I didn't say. So the judge, according to the law 54A, can just believe the
You
women,
just decide.
and he will decide that I'm guilty.
No juries.
No
We
juries.
have no juries.
No juries. And this is
So-
just according to the impression of the judge, and the only obligation of the court is to explain why they preferred
Great, isn't it?
this version against another one.
So here am I learning all about trapped people now. It offends my sensitivities.
So I just
yeah, it's good stuff. though.
actually the situation now in Israel, we have to say it, and would like to hear your expression. Actually, in the conflict between gender, let's say so, conflict between men and women, if this is some kind of sexual contest, in this conflict, the man automatically will be found guilty by court. In 99.99%
0.9%
of the cases of the files.
it's a huge conviction rate.
So what does it mean? It means that from the 1,000 people, probably only one person will actually live to the free.
Yeah, probably the guilty one.
Actually, in this kind of the crime, in this kind of the files, it's much more than 99.99. This is the average for all criminal cases in Israel for the sexual crimes.
Interesting
the
points about,
percentages are higher.
because I'm going to cut and paste this. Interesting about the crime thing, because I've learned from you. I've been to Ramla prison, and I met the man who's in prison for telepathy, And the women who didn't carry out those orders, by the way, who were exonerated from the so-called crimes of the telepathy, he's still inside, so he's a bad telepathist. Otherwise, he'd have opened all the doors and gone to France.
Right.
It's a joke, isn't it? 26 years for telepathy. Zadorov, who's 10 years now in prison for something he clearly, most people would say, didn't do. But we
Not
can't
only most
say
people
the
would say, because most people is not really done the court, but the problem is that the evidence is according to the highest authority in the world that was invited by the Israeli court to give evidence, said that look, it is not his flag, that's not his.
Yeah, but we met the cop who said, over the years we just squeezed the evidence to the admissions that we tortured people to give, or that we pressured people to give, or that we coerced people to give. That didn't die a death when those people retired. We know that.
We speak about the evidences of the lawyer and
still going on.
Daniel Moroz.
Yeah, but it's still going on, you know, and he knows, and he said there's a bigger cover-up than there ever was for me. It didn't stop there. I'm seeing the bruises on men and women. You've seen it. I've seen them.
Look, I can say, you know, that in my experience from the court and from the prison, I spent in prison 2.5 years, as you know, or almost 2.5 years, and because many prisoners wanted me to write in the letters and documents or applications and so on, so they brought me the judicial documents to read. So
you read a lot more in prison than you did outside.
And I met a lot of people there, and I read the documentation. Let's speak about judicial documentation. Of course, I just can say my estimate. Well, but I estimated that in the prison, I saw from 30 to 50% of innocent people. It's huge. It's unbelievable. But if you will compare it with the percentage of the guilty, the found guilty by court in the Western countries and in Israel, and if you will add the percentage that for sure we know that in other countries, some people that go to jail or found guilty are innocent.
Yeah.
You will find really the estimated rate, about 30 to 50%.
That's a huge
I
number.
spoke with the judicial scientists about this number. Nobody can say that I'm wrong.
Actually, this is the most interesting thing, you know. If you're getting things wrong in Israel, you know, people outside are going, no, it's not true, it's not true. I challenge the government, I challenge the ministries to tell me that statistic's wrong, that statistic's wrong. Now, when we were in the UN, when I was in the UN, they were talking about the suicide rates.
Mm-hmm.
They admit that they had to admit that there's a suicide rate, okay? It is believed, and it cannot be disputed, that of the suicides that at the time were 400 to 500, 150 suicides were of men going through divorce. Right, 150 of men going through divorce out of the number of 400 to 500, maybe 300 to 500. That was a huge percentage. And when it was amortised down, it was 1 in 72 divorcing men back in 2011 were committing suicide. Phenomenal number.
It's not only phenomenal, it's terrifying.
Right, now the Israeli delegation, despite what anyone else wants to think, because we were there, actually acknowledged that.
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, there is an issue. They acknowledged that children, that they have the last archaic law of tender years assumption, which children stay with their mother to the age of 6. Okay, the Muslims keep their kids to the age of 15, but this is whether or not she's fit for purpose. It doesn't matter if she's fit for purpose. She can be beating the kid to death, but she keeps the child till they're 6. And we have cases where that's happened. The delegation acknowledged the suicide. They acknowledged the stop orders, the no exit orders. They acknowledged all these human rights violations. and said they'd change them.
And did they explain why it happens?
They were a little bit shocked because they'd never had their own issues.
The delegation never heard.
The Israeli delegation knew their own information, but this was done in the UN in.
So the first time
First time they've been
in
confronted
this
in
surrounding
the international arena.
in the international arena, I understand. But they knew this information.
They had to.
So they didn't prepare the explanation.
They weren't prepared because they didn't know it was coming. It came out of the blue. This was not a prepared thing. This was
Okay,
just
so probably somebody else then to prepare information, explanation, and to send the answer.
In the UN, there's a dozen of them in these meetings, and they're faxing and taking coffee breaks, and we'll get back to you.
Cafe is the most important.
So they had to answer to these things, but again, I'm going to stress all the way through here. I told you I hated Israel. Right, I hated. So you think, what am I out here to just like dissolve this country? I do have a personal side to me, and that's I do a lot of spiritual work. And
do you still hate?
No, I don't.
Probably explain what happened with you.
I went through.
What happened?
I do a lot of spiritual practice. So there's a lot of meditation, grounding. I spent time on alternative means. Because I can't say that I'm a very religious person, but I've got faith in something. Call it God, call it the universe. Yeah. I have belief in faith. My family kept me going. When I ended up being divorced, I fell seriously ill, and I was given a few days to live, and I was critically ill for about a month. And it took me a long time to recover and get better. And in that time, because I'd been getting stories from everybody else, and I wrote my own story cohesively and coherently, and not, jumble like most traumatized people because I had help. I started to just see the people. All I could see was the people and the pain. And
so the collective perception of
I realised it wasn't
something in your
people.
Israel, just a name. You started to see
the people
behind
the people
name.
I always loved in the beginning. I suddenly saw the people I loved again. And I hated the family that had conspired to destroy my life. And I can't say that we'll move on from that. But the actual people around who were calling and speaking, all I could see was, we have to get you out of this. We have to save you. So the people themselves, I love the land of Israel. I love actually. 28 years, how can you not?
It's a nice
the state, the system. Okay, now here's the thing that gets everyone wild outside. She wants to destroy the state of Israel. She's anti-Israel. She's anti-Semitic. She's a self-hating, blah, blah. I'm going to say this to you, Moshe. I have heard it from the lips of countless Israelis. Medina, Arabs. The state of Israel. The land of Israel. I can't count the amount of Israelis who say, I want to finish the state. I want my land, I want my people, I want my country, and I want it back. I want it back from the state, from the government who's stolen my life. These are Israelis, not me. You'd agree with this. The state is not, I want to destroy the state of Israel as in the country. It's, I want to get rid of this government that are corrupting your, every child's life. People outside, I don't think, understand, like Israelis do, what do you mean when you are against the state of Israel? This is the biggie here. I am against the systems inside the country that are violating human rights. That's what I am against.
Is it really true to formulate to say that you're not against the state of Israel, but you're against the violations of the law and the human rights by Israel? So actually, you're for Israel, and actually what do you want to do is just to improve the situation in Israel for, in favor of the Israeli people.
Don't you?
The truth.
Isn't that exactly
I am a Zionist.
Zionist, heartbroken.
I am a Zionist.
Betrayed
I fought by my life to come to Israel, and my parents fought and endangered, endangered their life for 8 long years, and they were separated. By the way, and I didn't see my parents. I'm
You're
not against
my
Israel.
right. You are my
I
right-wing
love this thing.
Zionist
I think this is
friend.
a great miracle
isn't it?
that Israel
Oasis
came to
in
the
a
life.
desert.
But I think
It's
that what
fabulous.
happened now happened to Israel. What happened to people? This is a tragedy.
This is a tragedy.
I think that our court actually committed the kind of revolution and usurpated the power, and he became a terrorist organization. I say it again, this is a very harsh words. It's not only criminal organization, this is a terrorist organization because actually our court answers to the definition, international definition by the way, of the terrorist organization.
Okay, so let's just come on this for a minute then, because this is something that I think I need to explain to people. Okay?
Marianne,
First.
לכי תסתכלי עכשיו.
אנחנו מדברים קצת עברית,
לא, זה בסדר.
אני לומדת עברית, ואני בסדר עכשיו,
תסתכלי איך זה נקרא.
אוקיי, אנחנו
לא,
קצת...
תסתכלי איך זה...
בסדר.
Okay? Go to see how did you record it. And